Hey everybody, this is your friendly neighborhood therapist, Alfonso. Do you know that one of the worst things you can do when you're trying to build a new relationship is to tell that person what you're looking for in a partner? Be right back. I'm going to tell you why. Hey everybody. So this one is actually kind of interesting because over the course of doing relationship counseling, new relationships, old relationships, one of the themes that I keep hearing is, Alfonso, I didn't know he or she was like that, or he or she wasn't like that in the beginning. And what I try to explain is this. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make at the beginning of a relationship is to tell a person what you're looking for in a relationship. I know that doesn't sound like it's sage advice, but let me explain to you why. Individuals have an almost inane instinctual propensity to give you what they think you're looking for, as opposed to just giving you or showing you who they really are. One of the worst things you can do is tell an individual that this is what I'm looking for in a man or a woman. When you tell a person that, especially if they have high interest in you for various reasons, be it because you're beautiful, you're handsome, or sexual attraction, spiritual attraction, whatever it may be, once you do that, that individual who is not sincere about showing up in a relationship in their authenticity will show up based upon what you tell them. We always use this term that a person sends their representative, and that's true. Most of the time, when we are engaging in a new relationship, that representative will go before us. But do you know what helps that representative to do its job very well? It is when you've told that person what you're looking for. Why is that bad for any neighborhood therapist? It is because when you do that, when you tell a person what you're looking for, they'll focus so much on trying to be who you said you need for them to be, give it to you, love bomb you, give that to you in abundance, and then eventually they can't keep that up because it's not who they are. You always want a person to show up in their authenticity so that you can evaluate whether or not you think the two of you have something in common. But if you, excuse me, if you tell that person up front that this is what I'm looking for, this is what you're going to get. You guys have been there when you said, oh, well, I didn't know this person was as talkative or didn't talk as much. I cannot tell you how many times I've had couples say he or she was like that in the beginning, or he or she wasn't like that in the beginning. When individuals show up in their inauthentic selves, they have a hard time keeping that up. And do you know one of the things that triggers their relapse to who they are? It's when they have become more familiar with you. It is when they have been with you long enough that they feel like I no longer need to keep up this facade. And the reality is that the person that you now see is the person who was always there. I know somebody years ago, I won't say names because it can be too identifying. This person actually had someone cook food for her man and bring the food over early so that when the man came over, she would just finish, put it on the stove and let it warm up. And this guy actually thought that she was the one cooking the food. And the person who was cooking the food was just a fantastic cook. Eventually, they fell in love and they got married. And we just kind of all talked about at some point, she's going to have to cook something from scratch. And he's going to see that she was not authentic when she told him that she knew how to cook. Now, remember the person saying, but by then it won't matter because I'll already have him. He'll already be my husband. But once again, if you show up in that inauthenticity, inauthenticity, my apologies, then all you're doing is revealing who you've been for so long. And do you know what that does? It erodes the foundation of trust, because that person will think, if you weren't always authentic with me from the beginning, how do I know that everything else is real? The number one thing that you can actually do to establish a good relationship is not to tell that person what you're looking for. Show up in your authentic selves and then make a decision from there whether or not you think this relationship is going to work out. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to get everything that you're looking for, neither is that other person, especially when you get married later on in life or you get booed up later on in life, because you spent so much time becoming who you are. It's difficult to become anybody else. The other thing that I want you to know about in terms of building a good, solid relationship is to stop giving too much too soon. I get it. We're in 2025, and some people have told me that having sex is actually part of developing a good rapport. But do you know that when you have given so much of yourself too soon, you have disincentivized that person to work for what you have to offer? When a relationship is new, is good, is strong, is clicking on every cylinder, but when you put too much out there too soon, it fizzles out, it burns out, and that other person is no longer working to get that. And ladies, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be biased here, but when you put the bedroom action out there too soon, do you know that that's one of the mysteries, one of the biggest mysteries that a man has about a woman? What is she like in the bedroom? My wife and I will be married 12 years this year. And we didn't have sex before we got married. As Christians, we didn't want to do that. And it was funny that she thought at some point that maybe this guy's on the DL because he's not coming after me. And she said, if you would have come after me for sex, we wouldn't be together. And I was thinking the exact same thing. We wanted to make sure we showed each other what the substance was that made us up. Anybody can bring the sex part to a relationship, but it's what's in your heart, it's what's in your head. When you give each other too much too soon, that other person no longer feels like they have anything to work for. And you know what happens? They get bored with the relationship. Make sure that you are matching what that person is giving you, but also make sure, this is the third thing, make sure you are showing up in your genuine, authentic self. And don't you ever give somebody anything that you don't want to give them because they're pressing you for it. It doesn't matter whether it's love, sex, money. It doesn't matter what it is. Stay consistent with who you are. Stay persistent with who you are. Being in a good, loving relationship is wonderful, but if it causes you to lose yourself because you're catering to somebody else, at some point, two things will happen. You'll start to resent that person, but you'll also start to resent yourself. So I just want to remind you, when you get into that relationship, let's say when, remember, don't tell that person what you're looking for. Because as a result of spending time with you, as a result of talking to you, as a result of having those intimate conversational moments with each other, you'll know what that person is looking for. You'll know what you're looking for. I've recently watched so many relationships end in separation and several recently in divorce. Throughout the course of my career, that one thing has always come up. I didn't know he or she was like that, and I hate to be the one to tell them, but I do tell them, if you would have spent more time evaluating that person, more time talking to that person, you would have seen this before. But when you start getting a Love Jones and you just have to have it right away and you throw everything right there, that person has already seen the best of you really quickly. And they no longer have a need to stay around. Hey, you guys know what I love to tell you. Why do I bring you this content? It's because I love you. Do me a favor. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this video. Whether you agree or disagree, leave me a comment. And if this content is helping you, do me a favor. Hit that like button right there and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to get some more information about what you should and should not do in relationships, click on this video right here. Hey, you guys, do me one more thing. Reach down on purpose and help to pick somebody else up. Guarantee you, it's one of the best things you'll ever do in your life. God bless you.